wrote a vegan essay and is top of your class? Thank your kind heart, not just your upgraded IQ.
Warning: sensitive images.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Rancangan kami menawarkan banyak bahasa. Sila kunjungi suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nations plan horrific war, the like has never seen before, and taxes rise and life flee down, and nations wear perpetual frown.
Please watch on for Prophecy Part 249, Prophecies by the English soothsayer Mother Shipton.
Vegan, our meals are full of love and blessing from heavens and all beings.
For too long, these industries have deceived the public. They have lied and manipulated and scammed us. But we will no longer tolerate that. We look at these industries and we look these people in the eye and we say no more.
Kind regards, serene viewers. I am Maeve, a vegan weaver who creates classic British fabric using traditional looms and yarn. The merciful people of the United Kingdom praise your guardianship of the butterfly and bee pollinators who preserve their native plant species. May you delight in the boundless grace of the universe. Throughout the history of mankind, the divine messages are often shrouded in mystery. Prophets, messiahs, or whichever names you call them, are often persecuted and oppressed, their words obscured. But how do we distinguish the true from the false? To do so, one can only rely on the divine's guidance, and the truth will reveal itself to those who earnestly seek it. The ongoing war instigated by Putin and the Kremlin of Russia is one of the most horrible incidents to occur in our current times. Today, we will look into the atrocities inflicted by Putin and the Kremlin upon the innocent people of Ukraine or Ukraine, and even fellow Russian citizens as well.
And nations plan horrific war, the like has never seen before. And taxes rise and life lead down, and nations wear perpetual frown.
In the words of Mother Shipton, this is a horrific war, the like as never seen before, due to Russia's evil tactics, brutality, weapons, and chilling cruelty. Countless Ukrainian or Uranian defenders and civilians have been tortured. Moreover, the Russians are using rape as a weapon against men and women of all ages, the elderly, teenagers, children, and infants. There have even been reports of Russian soldiers forcing Ukrainian or Uranian parents to watch as their innocent children are abused.
Це над вами було сексуальне насилля,
правильно? Сексуальне, так. Просто роздіватися. І все. Ну, тобто, і більше нічого. І у всьому процесі пістолет був біля моєї ноги заряджений. І потім він вже мене відпустив.
Спитав, скільки кому год. Там була я, сама старша сестра моя і ще там одна знакома дівчинка. Спочатку він маму погукав. Маму просто пустив, а потім мене.
Ну він ж бачив, що в тебе вже животик є.
Ну, бачив.
Що після цього було?
Ну, після цього він заготував.
Ukrainian or Uranian orphanages have been raided, and over 16,000 Ukrainian or Uranian children have been abducted and indoctrinated with pro-Russian propaganda under the guise of so-called re-education for supposed Russian adoption. Furthermore, there has been bombing of pregnant women and newborn babies at maternity hospitals. Between February and December 2022, Russia attacked hospitals and clinics in Ukraine or Ukraine more than 700 times, with targets that included intensive care units for small infants. Some hospitals were shelled more than once, along with Russian intimidation of Ukrainian or Uranian doctors and nurses, making them fear for their lives in coming to work. The disruption caused by the loss of both medical facilities and staff has placed an even greater burden on those who remain and makes the recovery of the brutally attacked Ukrainian or Uranian people more difficult than it already is.
In this small boiler room, there were 20 people held at some point by Russian soldiers as they rounded up civilians.
Люди лежали на полу, на тряпках, матрас. Я знаю, что одних они электрошоком, некоторые под себя даже не лались, потому что их сильно били.
The International Criminal Court wasn't short of material when it came to issuing an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin over war crimes in Ukraine. Kyiv's General Prosecutor's Office has registered more than 60,000 cases against Russian forces, and these continue to grow by the day.
На наступний день There were more than 10 people there. They held us in the boiler room. We were standing really close to each other, blindfolded, with our hands tied. One soldier came inside and said, "We've been told that we need 4 dead bodies. Choose who this will be." He said that to a young guy I knew, and he volunteered to go with them.
Victoria was later removed from the room and taken to several freezing, rat-infested detention centres in southwest Russia, where she says she was brutally punched, beaten with wooden batons and tortured with electric shocks.
Russian forces are using weapons that have been banned even in war. These include thermobaric weapons that release toxic chemicals and suck the air out of the lungs of victims. They also emit a second shockwave that can vaporize human bodies. Cluster bombs have also been used. These are missiles that explode in the air, releasing mini-bombs over a large area. Many cluster bombs fail to explode when released, but explode later. This has led to the deaths of civilians, including 2 adults and a child, at a Ukrainian or Iranian preschool.
The US and UK governments are investigating reports that chemical weapons have been used by Russia in the besieged southern Ukrainian port of Mariupol.
As battle rages in the besieged city of Mariupol, Ukraine's Azov regiment say Russian drones have dropped chemicals, causing breathing problems and vertigo-like symptoms, after a pro-Russian military spokesman threatened smoking out Ukrainian defenders of a major steel plant there.
The consequences of this senseless violence are devastating. In addition to the known deaths, families have been torn apart, with relatives not knowing where their loved ones are or if they are still alive. Children have been orphaned, with many who are also refugees due to having to flee from their homes. People have been maimed, and innocent people of all ages are suffering from the brutal conditions of war, with food shortages and, in many cases, no access to essential supplies and medical care.
At first we had nothing, no stores were open, we didn't have any food at all. Now I'm just 33 kilos.
Those who do survive this heinous war are often left with physical, emotional and psychological injuries that they will never recover from completely, all due to the chilling cruelty imposed by Russian forces. In addition, millions have been forced to flee their homes, seeking shelter as refugees in other parts of Ukraine or in neighboring countries. Russian soldiers are not spared from suffering either. Their government stations them in barracks that are falling apart, while providing little food and less pay than they were promised. On the front lines, they are often left to fend for themselves, exposed to the harsh elements without food or assistance. Wounded soldiers may not receive proper medical care and instead can be subjected to brutal mistreatment, abandonment, or even killed by their own officers. Furthermore, under Putin's mobilization policy, Russians are being forced to fight in the war. Those who refuse face violent punishment and even torture.
A resident of the Vladimir region, for example, sounded the alarm about the fate of her mobilized son only after the payments were stopped.
I began to worry in the month of January. I did not receive payments then, so I began to call the recruitment office, went to the military registration and enlistment office of the Yuryevets and Vladimir regions. They also wondered why there were no payments. I went to Moscow, to the Ministry of Defense, where they were also very surprised that firstly, I am looking for my son, and secondly, that there are no payments.
Since the beginning of March 2023, payments have been delayed or not paid at all in 52 regions of Russia. Moreover, relatives of those mobilized say that the money has already run out not only for uniforms and supplies, but also for food.
They are buying up. They were transported and there is no food where they were transported. The servicemen are buying up only at their own expense. He has run out of money. There is none even for food. Wife of a Russian conscript, from a conversation intercepted by Ukrainian military intelligence.
Молодой пацан раненый, на земле лежал, кто-то ходить может, нет, помогите. Кто-то вот с пистолета застрелил, все.
Так не один еще, самое важное. То, что их там было, да, подполковник ходил, то, что... Да, просто убил.
То есть можно было людей спасти, вывести как-то, оказать помощь, он просто взял их и...
Мы тут людям такого наделали, это просто кошмар. Нас же дезинформировали, нам же, блядь, все неправду говорили. Говорили, что тут фашисты, блядь, и так далее. Мамы по мирным стреляли.
I fled to the first best country so I wouldn't have to go to jail or be sent to war. I don't want to fight against the Ukrainians. I have many friends there.
The official view from the Kremlin is that Russians believe their war in Ukraine is a noble cause, one they're ready to die for. But after 10 months of fighting, not all the soldiers think that. Deployed to Ukraine, his son refused to fight.
They beat him and then they took him outside as if they were going to shoot him. They made him lie on the ground and told him to count to 10. He refused, so they beat him over the head several times with a pistol. He told me his face was covered in blood, and then they took him into a room and told him, "You're coming with us, otherwise we'll kill you."
And there are other stories. These mobilized Russian troops were locked in a cellar after they said they won't go back into battle. Basements turned into dungeons for those who don't want to fight.
My son told me, "I never thought my own country would treat me this way." People here don't understand how much danger we're in. Not from the opposing side, but from our side.
For this war, the Kremlin is demanding total support.
Для граждан, не явившихся по повестке, устанавливаются обеспечительные, то есть ограничительные меры. Это запрет на выезд и предупреждение о последующем применении других мер в случае неявки через 20 дней. Следующие ограничительные меры предусматриваются: запрет на управление транспортным средством и их регистрацию, запрет на регистрацию индивидуальных предприятий и самозанятого, запрет на регистрацию недвижимости и кадастровый учет, запрет на кредиты и займы.
This tragic war has also had far-reaching consequences around the world. We will look further into these in our next episode.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. The United States is one of them. United States Animal Welfare Act and Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture, or PACT Act. In the United States, most of the animal people protection laws, particularly those related to animal companions, are set by the individual states. The Federal Animal Welfare Act generally refers to the treatment of animal persons during transport, exhibition, and other scenarios. The states with the most comprehensive regulations include these safeguards: basic standards of care, prohibitions on cruelty, neglect, abandonment, and fighting. A court may order forfeiture of abused animal individuals. A court may restrict the right to care for animal folk after a conviction. In 2019, the Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture, or PACT Act, made abuse to animal people a federal felony, punishable by fines and up to 7 years incarceration. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all, be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
Animal products have no place in a healthy diet. As a champion boxer, I need to keep my body in top physical shape. Since I've stopped eating meat, I'm stronger, faster, and happier. My whole life is better. Maureen Shea, vegetarian.
Esteemed viewers, thank you for joining us today. Please tune in again next week as we continue to clarify the mysterious prophecies of Mother Shipton. Coming up next is the Honourable Jane Boleyn, pioneering African-American woman in law, right after Noteworthy News. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. May you cherish the God nature in every living being upon the earth, including our precious plant and animal kindred.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, hell not reach.
Russia, leave Ukraine or your reign now. Peace be with you too. Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AP.